Hey fans, it's me Aaron for a comic show. I'm here to talk about new comics now. This week I'm going to start with the image books and the independent books because it seems like that's what a lot of people are interested in the comment section, and I like to respond to that and shake things up a bit. Then I got my DC stuff. As you know, I'm a huge DC fan in general of the characters, and some Marvel stuff with one all-new Marvel Now, New Warriors book. So without further ado, Zero, Volume 1, and Emergency, 1 through 5, $9.99, huge point size on the cover. It's great. It is insanely good. This Ales Kot is amazing. He is such a great new talent. There's a quote from Scott Snyder on the back saying that Zero is easily one of his favorite reads of the year, and also Hickman just giving it so much praise. But essentially, it's a story told in the future. It's told between like 2018 and I think 2038. And it's Edward Zero. He was the best killer and spy they had until he realized he was on the wrong side. But with the collapse of narrative, it's not linear. That's one of the things that I just don't like so much about so many comic book movies and so many starts of comic book stuff. It's always like this narrative, like, here is the origin, here is the adversary, here is the lesson learned and the moral in the end. I don't need the origin first. I don't need it. Start me in the middle of things and give me something compelling that just rips me out of where I'm at and puts me in that present. And it also shifts so much. Each issue is a single issue story that tells an overarching narrative of the character, but each issue is at a different period. It could be in his past, in his future, at the end, in the middle. He's different ages, obviously, different targets, different things, and each issue is a different artist. And that's cool. That kind of cracks the DNA of these independent books to get it out monthly, because you can have different artists working at different times. An artist might be slow, give him the script 3 months ahead of time. And it's come out like clockwork, and Ales Kot deserves all the praise he's getting, and he's getting a lot. And he has some big Marvel books coming out too. I'm going to have him here signing at a comic shop, and I'll have that stream live on Friday, March 14th. It's going to be awesome. I also have Trad Moore, who does Luther Strode and is the artist of the second issue in here. So I can't say enough about this book or this writer. Give it a shot. I mean, it made me feel like I felt when I was reading some other of these huge name writers now on their first work. And yeah, it's not his first work. And when I read his first work, I told him, I thought it was just some writer using a pen name to do something that something a little bit more edgy, because it was just that good. But Zero is awesome. It's only $9.99. Get it and give it a shot. Seriously. Moving on to Undertow, it's a image number 1. I didn't talk about the 2 image number 1s last week. It slipped the stack. Fuse was very good. Mercenary C, it was okay. I'll give it a couple more issues. I'll probably review it next issue. But Undertow, I really liked it. And I think it had a lot to do with how great the art is, how much I like the style of art in here. But this dude Orlando that wrote it, Steve Orlando, he's pretty good. He is pretty awesome. And it's a tale of Atlantis, and there's like this kind of royal bourgeois type of young guy in Atlantis that wants some freedom, that wants to rebel because he needs something other than just this lifelong thing of an arranged marriage and kids and then a midlife crisis and all that. He wants some adventure. And it really feels a lot kind of like, England, how that was all stodgy and proper. The freaking lawyers wear wigs, it's weird, right? And so they came to America for freedom and adventure. I mean, sure, there was, slavery and destroying indigenous cultures, but essentially freedom and adventure. And maybe they're destroying indigenous cultures here as they get free from Atlantis. And yes, they're leaving Atlantis. These people are leaving Atlantis, leaving the water onto the land to explore, much like exploring the new world of America. I'm not just hating on the British, it's a metaphor. And it's prehistoric people. It's like, Neanderthal, caveman, whatever. They're using some crude tools, but why does every story about Atlantis have to be like in modern time or some type of time where humans are evolved? This is prehistoric, and it's awesome. I truly enjoyed it. It was a great first issue. Give it a shot. Image is kicking ass, even with names of people that I've never heard before. And, I gave it a shot. You should give it a shot if any of that tickles your fancy. Red Sonja, this is 2 established names, Red Sonja and Gail Simone. But the reason why this deserves your attention, as IGN says, screaming on the cover, is because this is the book that Gail Simone was born to do. She is obviously a woman. She's obviously a firebrand. She is very opinionated, and she kicks ass. And she's very funny. So this is kick-ass, all-out action with humor book about a red-headed firebrand, and it delivered. It was awesome, and Dynamite made a brilliant move in putting those two together. And the collection has a couple cool bonus stuff. It has the full script issue 1 and all the variant covers that were all drawn by women. It was great. I enjoyed it. So give that a shot. The X-Files, Teenage Mutant Turtles, this was fun. You know, they're going through these urban legends and whatnot, there's an overarching story of this virus type of thing, but that doesn't matter. If you like Teenage Mutant Turtles and you like X-Files, read this, you'll have fun. It's like some alien autopsy cover. You know, they're doing an autopsy on one of these amphibian turtles. It's pretty crazy, and I'm enjoying this. I like these little single issue things of a mashup of these two properties, and it actually works. It does work, and the Transformer one I'm sure is going to work too, and I've really been enjoying them. Quantum Woody, this is the final part of the second story arc. Love the flashback of privates of how Quantum got kicked out of the army. That was amazing. I just love the sarcastic and cynical narrator. You know, I just imagine that in the Super Fringe voice, if he was just all dry and just like sarcastic. But anyway, it's a fun book. It's my favorite Valiant book, and if you like offbeat humor that's lowbrow but smart at the same time, kind of like, you know, dances that little line, it's for you, which, you know, that's the line that I live on. It just rides up my ass crack like a G-string. But anyway, Unity 4, this was the final part of this. Any last words? It was good. I really enjoyed Unity. I like what's coming. I like what it was. I like what it did for XO. I like how it gave Ninjak the spotlight, and I'm not going to spoil anything for it. FBP, which you might have known as Collider, is out in a collection, and what's cool about it is a $9.99 collection, and you know, $9.99 is the price point that Valiant did for all their first collections, and that Image does for almost all its first collections. And a very old and cranky Bob Wayne said at the retailer roadshow for DC that I was at, was like, oh, we invented the $9.99 price point with our Vertigos, oh, and I just kind of sarcastically like, well, why don't you copy yourself and do it now then? You know, if it was such a great idea that everyone else is riding off your coattails, you stop doing it. Do it again. And so they did. Awesome. Yes. So if you want to try it, try it. It's $10.99. And what I liked about it is that it's kind of like freaky physics, you know, trippy sci-fi stuff with some great art and great sense of design, coloring, all that. But it kind of makes me think there's these gravity holes and these weird things like, is this stuff in Florida with all these sinkholes, is that really like gravity holes that they're covering up, and like the FBP is actually like covering all those sinkhole things up? Because it happens like seriously like every week in Florida. It's ridiculous. And yeah, they need to do an issue on that. Okay, Joyners in 3D. This is RJ Ryan and David Marquez. You know David Marquez from Bendis from Ultimate Spider-Man. It's in 3D. It has these cool 3D glasses. No, I haven't read the whole thing, so I cannot spoil it for you. But the 3D is amazing. Like, you know, put on some 3D glasses and look right here. You know, it's awesome. So anyway, I haven't read the whole story. I love these guys. I loved them on Syndrome when they did that original hardcover. But it's a $30 hardcover, all in 3D. It's in the future, and it just tells the tale of a guy that uses all this technology, all this perfect future with his perfect family, and all this perfect hubris and arrogance that he oversteps and his whole world crumbles around him. And isn't that the perfect tale to, you know, I've lived through that, you know, and you pick up the pieces, you know, I hope he picks up the pieces and stop, you know, navel gazing. But from what I read for the first few pages, I was sucked in. I had to stop because I had to do this video. So I'm going to enjoy the rest of this, and RJ Ryan, really great writer. I would love to see him on something from New 52 or All New Marvel Now, but he does these great original hardcovers, so, you know, I guess he does whatever he wants, so more power to him. He's a very attractive man. Moving on, Harley Quinn number 3. It's the Valentine's Day issue, a week late. Who cares? It's Harley Quinn. You guys accept anything from her. Why? Because apparently Harley Quinn grew some berry that she ate, and with that berry, everyone just falls in love with her, so hopefully you'll continue reading this and all of the books after that, because Harley needs your attention, guys. She's just like Deadpool. She'll do anything for your attention, and don't make her hurt herself. You saw what the internet does when she alludes to that. So, and Harley Quinn, actually, Dan DiDio, I don't know if I told this story when I talked about when I was in New York, but Dan DiDio used this as an example of him listening to retailers, that a retailer told him at the Orlando Retailer Roadshow, that he needs to do a Harley solo book, that he's leaving money on the table, fans want it, and Dan's like, oh, she's in the Suicide Squad, and they're like, no, you need a Harley solo book, do it. And just so happened, Palmiotti was there in the same room because he lives in Clearwater, Tampa, and Palmiotti's like, I'll write it, and then boom, it's done. Yeah, get Amanda Conner to co-write it, have her do covers, bestseller. So, yay, you know, Dan DiDio, he's turning over a new leaf, listening to retailers. Yay. Justice League, Metalman, cool. I've never particularly cared for the Metalman. Even when Kevin Maguire did it for that little time he did, who's one of my favorite artists, because DiDio, I just didn't like his writing, didn't like what they did with him, but this was fun. Jeff Johns is rehabilitating the Metalmen, and it was a fun read. Instead of forever evil, I guess they're forever good. The first rule of robots is save everybody, I guess, you know? Like, I guess Asimov, whatever. Don't cause any harm to a human, but theirs is like superheroes, so it's save every human. Cool. Okay, moving on, Animal Man. This is the penultimate issue. I love that it's ending. It's one of my favorite books. He's one of my favorite characters, but I love that it has this finite ending where everything just goes on and on and on and changes creative teams and all this stuff. Animal Man was such a great story with Jeff Lemire that it's ending with a high point of sewing up all of the subplots, sewing up all the emotional stuff, had a great artist finishing it out, and then the final issue, Lemire is also drawing himself, and then he's bringing the character over with him to his Justice League Unlimited. But without spoiling anything, this issue was freaking satisfying, and I imagine the next issue is going to be tear-jerkingly good. So thank you, DC, for not putting just some other writer on it. This was Lemire's book, and I like that it's starting and ending with him. And when you get another pitch from another great guy for Animal Man, do it again in 5 years. But this was brilliant. I'm glad you didn't milk it forever. I loved it. Supergirl, Tony Bedard. Supergirl's one of those characters they do milk forever. It just goes on and on and on and on. But Tony Bedard, he loves rings and colors. So he got on Supergirl, and now she has a Red Lantern ring. I know from Charles Soule, from talking and conversing with him face-to-face, that he was the one that said, put a Red Lantern ring on Supergirl. But Bedard's like, wow, you read my mind. This is awesome. Let's go. I love rings. Rings are, you know, my thing. And it was fun. And in this issue, you get to see her get the ring, where in issue 28 of Green Lantern, Red Lantern, she already has it. Well, this is where she gets it, has more of that, you know, lipstick Lobo. And it was a fun issue. And I like that she has a ring that's cool. I'm actually paying attention to the book now. Bedard's a win. Red Ring's a win. You know, and I imagine that lipstick Lobo is not going to be in the book anymore. Spoiler, whatever. You know, you're picking this up if you weren't already picking it up because she has a Red Lantern ring, not because of Lobo. And Wonder Woman, again, another issue that is Az and Chang, and it's awesome. Love it. If I don't mention it, people yell at me. I don't want to spoil anything, but it's great. New Warriors. Christopher Yost, who I really have liked in a lot of stuff. New Warriors, I don't know. I loved New Warriors as a kid. When I was in junior high, New Warriors came out. They first appeared in Thor, and I just identified with the characters of Speedball and Nova and all that stuff. And it has Speedball and Justice in here. It has Kid Nova, New Nova. I guess Scarlet Spider's now a teenager, or maybe it's just like if you don't know what to do with your life, you can be a New Warrior, you know? I don't know. I mean, you can be on your parents' health insurance now until you're 25, right? So why can't, you know, Scarlet Spider be a New Warrior? But anyway, the team's not formed yet. I don't really know what their purpose is yet. It's high evolutionaries there, and they're kind of trying to destroy all deviants of the human race, whether they be superpowered mutants, half-breeds, or Inhumans probably. I don't know. It was weird. It was weird. It's enough to... I'm interested in the franchise. I'm interested in the characters. I'm interested in the writer. I'll read the second issue too and probably review that. Hopefully it'll find its groove. The first issue was just all set up, and, you know, that's not really my cup of tea. Punisher Edmondson, love this. Look at the cover. You can guess who the villain is by looking at the cover if you're, you know, a detective. And with the first issue, I said this is kind of like a realistic Marvel Max take on the Punisher in the Marvel Universe, and it's the corner of the Marvel Universe that Edmondson is owning now with Black Widow and Punisher, but now it's apparent that he's taking on actual, like, powered Marvel villains, which is awesome. That was what was really cool about Remender's run at the beginning, and I think Edmondson is giving us the perfect Punisher in the Marvel Universe book. So, Edmondson, you're the man. You're also extremely attractive, and I want to be you when I grow up. Moving on to Avengers World with Hickman and Spencer. If you liked Iron Fist and you want more Shang-Chi and all that stuff, it's all Kung Fu stuff. And it's kind of weird that it's called Avengers World, like it's this scoping worldview thing when it's all been like very character specific on characters that haven't gotten much screen time in the actual Avengers proper book. So yes, it's Avengers World, but it's almost like it could be called Avengers Spotlight if it was still the 80s. And lastly, Amazing X-Men. It's Jason Aaron McGuinness, and it's what I want. It is Nightcrawler as a pirate, swashbuckling pirate. That's the Nightcrawler that I know and love. I don't want this, you know, some kind of priest Nightcrawler kind of, like I get the thing that he's a demon, but he actually believes in God and he's persecuted by other believers in God, and how is that the church? And like I get those God, love, man kills and all that elements, but Nightcrawler is an awesome, fun-loving, swashbuckling pirate type of dude, and I'm loving that I'm getting that here with action, humor, and great art that fits it. So, you know, I'm enjoying it. Thanks, Jason Aaron. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff. I will reply to comments unless there are abusive comments. And if you're local, come to Geek Easy. Tuesday night is Nerd Trivia, where you could win your bar tab. Wednesday night is open mic this week with Mark with a C. Thursday night is Comics and Comics, which is stand-up comedy in a comic shop. One of my lifelong dreams realized. And then Friday is head-banging button mashing, which is exactly what it sounds like. Metal music and video games. And Saturday is Street Pass with chiptunes. Should be pretty big. So if you haven't checked out our Charles Soule video, click the link and check that out. It was a great interview and some wackiness. And thanks for watching. Bye-bye.